So JD Vance, the Vice President of the United States of America, has been pretty open and vocal about his endorsement of Sunday law or blue laws or Sunday blue laws. For those of you who don't know what that is the government to encourage or to enforce religious observance by restricting certain activities on Sunday. Now, many of you who follow this channel, you know that Sunday is a regular working day. We've been instructed by God to work 6 days and to rest and keep the day holy that He sanctified and blessed, which is the 7th day of the week. Friday sunset to Saturday sunset is the Sabbath. But VP Vance brings up Sunday keeping and Sunday laws, Sunday blue laws again in his book, Communion, Finding My Way Back to Faith. This is, I guess, another memoir or his testimony about how he went from being raised in a Protestant home to being an atheist in his college years to eventually being baptized into the Roman Catholic Church. Now, on the surface, this always seems like a good idea. Who doesn't need a day of rest? Who doesn't want to protect workers and promote family in our country? Let me read you a few excerpts from the book. One of the benefits of labor unions is that they protect workers from this kind of tyranny of consumption. I've supported blue laws, state laws that shut down businesses on certain days, like Thanksgiving, because these days are sacred and everyone ought to be able to participate in them equally. I didn't know that Thanksgiving was a sacred day, a day set aside for holy use or communion, like the 7th-day Sabbath or the Sabbath, but I digress. He goes on to speak about the Teamsters Union and their role. He thought that some of the arguments that Sean O'Brien gave were in line with traditional Christian social teaching. He also states that churches will struggle to attract working class people if those people are forced to work on Sundays. What about the rest of the religions, friend? Then he brings in some words or thoughts from the Pope. As you know, as Protestants, we believe and understand that the fourth beast of Bible prophecy or kingdom is Rome in both her phases, her pagan phase and then her papal phase with the line of popes. And I stand with other Protestant reformers who understood that the Antichrist or the chief Antichrist or the little horn power coming out of the fourth beast is none other than the papacy. I believe Vance is aware of this position, but obviously he's converted to Catholicism, so he must reject it in somehow, some way. He goes on to state, the Pope also lays out a vision of society where the state protects the vulnerable, guarantees a just wage for laborers, and ensures that working people have sufficient rest from labor. Now, to all my Sunday keeping brothers and sisters who are subscribed to this channel or have happened by this video, again, this sounds like a great idea until you understand what's going on in Revelation chapter 13. My understanding is that Revelation chapter 13, there are two kingdoms, two nations mentioned, the first being the Roman Catholic Church or the papacy or Vatican City, headed by the Roman Catholic papacy. And the second beast that comes up out of the land with lamb-like horns is none other than the United States being controlled by apostate Protestantism. So when we have our elected officials and presidents and vice presidents all on board or encouraging this type of Sunday observance or forced Sunday observance through laws, through state and federal laws, perhaps eventually, this is a problem. Because for those who actually keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ and the faith of Jesus, they will ultimately be persecuted like they have been in times past when Sunday laws came into effect in this very country, mind you. First Sunday law was in 321 AD under Emperor Constantine. And then the next Sunday law we see is in the colony of Virginia in 1610, where there was the 3 strike rules and you're out. For your first offense, you would have your rations taken for breaking Sunday or not keeping Sunday holy. For the second offense, you would have your rations taken and you would be whipped. And for the third offense, you would be unalive. Yes, friends, you heard me correctly, unalive, in the colony of Virginia in 1610. And then in 1888, there was an attempt by the United States government. Senator Blair tried to pass a federal Sunday law. The second beast causes the entire world to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Take note that in Revelation 13, the final issue is over worship. Either you will worship God as the creator and be a commandment keeper, or you will worship the beast through man-made traditions in which you will eventually be forced to do so. You won't be able to buy or sell. There'll be laws, legislations, fines, inducements, imprisonments, I'm sure, and also miracle working power to captivate the rest of the world through signs and wonders. So friends, please do not take this lightly. This is in one sense terrifying, but also encouraging because we know we're almost home and the final events are being wrapped up, and hopefully they will be quick ones, rapid ones. We are in the fulfilling pages and verses of Revelation 13. And I would like to believe that VP Vance has good intention. He served his country. He was a Marine, a journalist in the Marines. He's a Marine himself. He is a doctor of law. I think a very influential man. Before he became a running mate of President Donald Trump, he was opposed to Donald Trump, but now he is associated with the Christian Nationalist Party or Christian nationalism. And this sentiment or idea that Sunday is God's day of rest and that the United States government has a responsibility or should legislate non-Sunday keeping Christians should have to refrain from work on Sunday flies right in the face of God's 10 commandments, the ones that he spoke with his own mouth and wrote with his own finger. We ought to obey God rather than men, friends. Sunday is human tradition. And this, the Roman Catholic Church knows. They have no problem letting you know that Sunday is tradition that stems out of Roman Catholicism, out of Rome for that matter. Friends, this is not what we want. We want our government to uphold morality. We want them to uphold the last 6 commandments of the 10 commandments, but they must leave the first 4 commandments free to the conscience of its citizens. If not, they will fulfill the role of the second beast of Revelation chapter 13. I pray that if you are a Sunday keeper, that you would look into these things for yourself. You would grab your Bibles and see that Sabbath was made for man, as Jesus said in Mark 2, verse 27, and that the 7th day of the week is still blessed and sanctified today, has not been altered or changed. Under the new covenant, God has promised to write those 10 commandments on our hearts. Jeremiah 31, beginning in verse 31. It grieves my heart to know that there are so many well-meaning and well-intentioned Christians who are looking to just defend the country, stand for God, and not to let secularism and communism and the LGBTQ agendas and everything overrun their country with other apostate religions like Islam. I understand the fear and the concern, but friends, the overcorrection is coming. Revelation 13 will be fulfilled. And I pray you find yourself on the side of God's commandment-keeping people and not those who are forcing the world to worship the first beast of Revelation 13.